Okay, here's the removal of this impression cylinder gripper shaft, 3302H Ryobi. It's very similar to the M Ryobi. The biggest difference is the newer presses have this zerk, grease zerk here, and so it helps with less wear. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up removing all of, we're going to loosen all these 4mm Allens. We're going to loosen these 5mm Allens on each end, here and here. We're going to remove these two 5s and these two 5s that hold these holders in. And then that's going to let everything slide out. Before we get to that point though, we got to remove this spring off this arm down here, right down in there. So we're going to go ahead and get started doing that. I'm going to see if I can position this a certain way to get that in there maybe. Okay. I'm going to use me a 3/8 drive with an Allen on it. It's kind of tough. It's got Loctite on it, so those come out a little bit tough. Now these here, there's going to be spring pressure on it, so as soon as I get the first one out, second one I'm going to have to hold down on it. Until I get the screw out, and then that releases, comes up like so. Take the block out. I'm going to go ahead and take the spring out so I don't lose it, like so. Okay, now we're going to bring this back around. So I can get to the all the other bolts to loosen them up in there. Go ahead and move this here up to here. Okay, now loosen these little guys up. 4mm Allen. They're just clamping screws is what they are. They clamp on the shaft. Okay, now I'm going to get the 5s, loosen the 5s up. I guess we'll take these out first, these here zerks out of here, because I know I got to get these out of here anyway. These have a tapered thread on them, so they get really loose once they get out of ways. Just be careful not to drop it. Down the press, and if you do, that's what you got a magnet for. Okay, now I'll get my 5mm. These are pretty tight sometimes, so there's a lot of Loctite on them, so they don't, there I know it's loose. The bolt's not loose, but the clamp is loose. And that's loose. I think I can take those out last. So now I should be able to take and remove all this. I got to push the shaft out, spin it around, pull the arm and the clip off it, or else it won't go through the access hole over there. So I'll get my little screwdriver and pull it over there. Spin this all the way around and get to that right here. Just a little snap ring right there. Snap ring off. And the shaft off, and the bushing all comes out together. This arm is pinned on this shaft at the factory, so I'm not gonna mess with pulling that off, because this arm, actually there's a hole here in the side frame. They got it perfect just to pull right out of there. So I'm gonna pull that out of there, and I'll pull all the pieces off one at a time instead of a side, so I don't drop them. So we're gonna bring this down here so I can get to the access hole right there. About like so. Start pulling these off. So there's this washer. They call that a stopper. Goes on the end. Wiggle this off the end. There's actually two pieces together, and there's a spring back there. That's the spring that puts this pressure on your impression cylinder gripper. This little 2.5 millimeter Allen is what you use to set your preload for your impression cylinder grippers. Two off. There's the inner race for the bearing that's in there. This is just a spacer sleeve right here. And another holder comes off. I'm pulling the shaft out just little by little. That's what I'm doing. Another holder assembly. Another bearing sleeve, another holder, another holder. There should be one stopper left with a washer, like so. Pull this spacer out of here. Spacers are black, the bearing sleeves are silver, stainless. And then the shaft comes out. That's all there is to it. Now when you reverse the method, you're just going to start the shaft on this side of the side frame over here, and you're going to start by putting your washer, then your stopper, two holders, bearing sleeve, spacer, two more holders, another spacer, then the bearing sleeve, two more holders, stopper, and washer. You're just going to reverse it, is what you're going to do. And when you get done, you should have something that looks like this right here. All out of the machine. I put it back together just so I can see how it's put together. There you go, 3302H. Also the same as the 3302M, 3985 or 9985 impression cylinder gripper shaft removal.